started doing what you were saying and 12K in 1 week. It just works. My strategy was basically 30K in revenue as a complete beginner.
You should cook instead of chilling on TikTok.
You're basically roasting me, man.
I mean, let's go through everything. Tell me your story. How's everything going?
So my story is basically I started with dropshipping maybe like a few months ago. I think in May or in June. I didn't really know where to begin, so I just started with watching a bunch of YouTube videos. Yeah, I mainly watched your YouTube videos and Mikey's, of course, and you really do inspired me a lot. So everything I know and what I've learned so far, it's based on you guys. So I really do appreciate it. And yeah, after 1 week, I basically started to order my first product, but it was trash. It didn't really work, no proven concept. So I immediately threw that away, started with the next product, ordered my second product, and it was a banger. Like maybe it took me only 1 week for my first sale. And by now I made like 20K almost with that first product. After that, I also ordered my latest product, which today's video is also about. Yeah, over 10K with it. So it's going pretty well.
Amazing.
To sum it up, maybe like I think 30K in revenue lifetime. In the past few months as a complete beginner, I only tested like 3 products in total. But to be honest, Michael, I haven't really gone viral on TikTok yet. I'm still trying. It's harder than it seems.
Yeah. I mean, first let's go step by step. So let's maybe walk through the numbers. You can share your screen.
So this is basically the first day when I launched the shop. Was the 19th. First day I launched the shop, 1.5K. The next day was like almost 3K. And the day after, 2K. Yeah, 3K. I think this was my best day actually. And yeah, that's around like 10K in 1 week, 12K in 1 week.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. So you say you didn't go viral yet. So what happened to you was you had like very high converting videos, which were not going viral as crazy, but they converted like hell.
Yeah.
So what would you say, why is that happening? Why do you think it's converting so well, but it's not going viral?
So first of all, the product is amazing. Yeah, I just have to show it and the people are already going crazy and commenting. I think why it's converting so well is definitely because the product is interesting. I don't really know actually why.
Yeah, it happens in the beginning a lot where you have no clue why it's working, it's just working. But
I don't have a clue what I'm doing, it just works.
Yeah. So what was the main thing which actually helped you from our program?
The best things are that you always have an expert for each field. You know, if you have issues with the shop, you can always ask someone or like practical or technical questions. Another great thing is like Jacob or Pepe, they always tell you what to do right. So they tell you what's going wrong, what's going right, where to improve, what to change. Just have to implement the advice.
Yeah, for sure. And what was like your goal generally when you started all of this? Like, what was the plan coming into dropshipping?
Why I started is basically I finished school and I didn't really know what to do. I had no perspective, no real direction. And yeah, basically all of my friends, they went to university and all that stuff, but it wasn't for me. I just wanted to start anything but no university. So I was looking for any way to make money online. And that's when I found out about dropshipping. In the beginning, I watched your YouTube videos and everything you said, it made a lot of sense to me, you know. I started to take action and it worked in a very short time.
No, I mean, you can clearly tell that you did put in the work and did things right. What was for you the reason why you specifically decided to watch my videos only and go with the program, etc.?
So you have to be very careful when it comes to picking information, because nowadays on the internet there are a lot of guys who are telling you like bullshit, or they want to make money out of you, or they themselves they don't really have a clue what they're talking about. So you have to find a person who's giving actual useful information. I didn't really know why I watched your videos, but already in the beginning I could tell you knew what you were talking about. I started doing what you were saying, and it worked. So I kept pushing, and that's it.
And currently, like, what were the main challenges you actually faced? What went wrong, maybe? What were the main problems?
The main problems were actually, like, in the beginning, I didn't know exactly specifically what to do, because I had no experience, nothing at all. You have to pick a certain strategy, a certain strategy you can focus on, because there's like Facebook, there's like TikTok, ads and organic. And in the beginning, I set up a few campaigns on TikTok, also made a few sales with it, but that wasn't really the way to go for me. Then I found out about organic, and I stick to organic. So I would say just find a specific strategy, and try to focus and invest all of your time in it, and then it could basically work.
I mean, one thing which you're doing a little bit different is that you're selling in Germany. Is that correct?
Yeah, another thing, my strategy was basically looking at the American market and picking different products from the American market which are doing pretty well. Because in Germany there's no real competition, So I don't have, in America it's like a war room, You post a video, you have one winner, and everyone's copying you.
Yeah.
And in Germany, you don't have competition. You can just post and make money off it. And you also don't have to test really much, because you already see it's working in another market. So you can implement it and make it work for yourself.
Yes. And it's crazy how this whole markets thing can make an insane difference. We've seen with so many people, for example, just like small tweaks, like having a UK account and US account, which already that makes big differences. In UK, it goes viral, or only US or whatever. And on top of that, if you start implementing the whole country with different languages thing, it can actually change, because then the biggest majority of your competition just dies away, because they have no clue what you're saying, how your video is, and they don't even see it. And what happens is your competition is like 25 times less, and you can go viral for a much longer period of time and not get copied. And with US market, it's obviously they're more difficult. But also we have to say that if you experience something like you're having right now, the amount of views you get, if it would have been English, the views will be much, 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 much higher. In the German market, it's capped. So if you would post the same exact content and everything would have been doing the same and it was going viral, it goes viral much, much faster, crazy, like much easier to higher numbers, It's definitely something you should also do. I wouldn't only focus on the German market. And if you already have something going, I would definitely also do the main ones on top. What do you think are right now kind of the main next steps which you should take to get this to the next level?
So to push to the next level, I definitely have to go to do more product research. Don't just rely on one product, Find another product and maybe go try it out in the American market, because I've never done that. Yeah, I already got two products. What would you say? How many products can you run at the same time?
It depends on the products, but what would you say on average does it take to film the videos for your products?
So for the first product, it's a little bit longer, like about 1 hour, and the other product maybe half an hour.
Per video?
Per video, yes.
Yeah. Well, I would say you can definitely test 2 more products and do that as well. But honestly, you need to weigh up what's more important right now. If it's testing more products or testing your products in different markets, because your product is already really good, and you would basically have to start completely from scratch with a new product. But with yours, you already have the proven concept, to make the videos, you generally know what goes viral, and you just make that in a bunch of languages, and that's the thing. There's a decision to be made. That's that. But also the other thing, which is going to be the next step, is all the creator stuff, because I've been seeing it over and over again, how you spend time to make money, but that's not enough. You need to spend time to find people who can spend time for you to make money, and that's going to be the second step, where we actually start looking into that. But it's going to take definitely a few more weeks until you would be ready for that.
You think I'm already at that point?
It depends. It depends. If you right now would start focusing a lot on hiring creators, it would be good. But I don't think the amount of views you have gotten is enough. Like, I think to have more views before you actually can outsource those things to make sure that you know exactly what viral content and what good content is. You basically had those products which were super high converting, and you didn't have to go crazy viral. I would say it's a little bit too early, but in a couple of weeks to a month, I would say you're ready. That's basically that. What would you say is kind of the main advice you would give to a complete beginner if they're just starting out right now?
Don't test out too many things. Focus on one strategy and don't think too much about it, because this whole overthinking about how's gonna look my shop, what's gonna look my shop like, or taxes and everything, it's gonna come in at the end. So in the first step, you have to focus on money making activities like finding a good product and setting up a store and marketing it. In the beginning, my shop, it was basically like completely trash. I don't know why it even converted, but somehow it did. Yeah, be focused, try to develop a mindset, to develop a character, and just put in the work.
What did you do before dropshipping?
I did my school, and after my school, I worked a couple of jobs, but nothing really special.
So did you quit the job and started to do this full time, or what was the transition?
I was working at a hotel actually. When everything was slowly going, at this time I started to work full time, because I thought like it could work somehow, and I also I need some money to invest, I hadn't really got money, so I needed some capital, and but it was also the same time where my product, it popped off. So I actually always had to produce videos at work, at the reception. I was sitting there and basically producing videos on my phone, like 4 to 5 hours. And it was really a headache, but it worked out somehow. And after 2 weeks, I started to work as a part-time job. So not anymore full-time, part-time. Right now, I only work like as a mini job.
Well, I would honestly say it's probably a good time to do this full time. The mini job is not really worth it, and the time which you spend there is going to be it's going to be better spent on organic, especially if you have a job which is super easy to replace anyways. That's the first thing. Was the plan to quit your job as soon as possible because of dropshipping? Did you think it's going to go as smooth as it did, or did you expect it's going to be like more difficult or easier or whatever?
My plan wasn't. It was actually to quit the job at some time as soon as I'm successful with my other business. I didn't want to work lifetime this 9 to 5 like job. I didn't really see that as my future. I looked at my job as somehow like a capital, just to make some money to invest in dropshipping and in knowledge and all that stuff. My parents support me a lot, so I don't really have to rely on a job.
Understand. Well, yeah, then 100%, I would say it doesn't make sense at all to be working right now at all. Like I would do all in dropshipping. If you're being honest right now, how many hours per day do you spend on dropshipping?
In the beginning, I worked harder, but now as I make these numbers, I get a bit, So right now it's like maybe 3 to 5 hours just to make videos. And there's also these other things like email support and working on the shop. And right now, for example, I have this supplier issue, which I'm trying to fix.
So you're doing like 3 to 4 hours a day, and that's it?
Or just to produce videos, maybe even less.
Bro, you need to take this more serious, because right now what you're having is the potential to make actual money. What you're making right now, it maybe feels like actual money, but it's not really.
There's also like I have to pay tax and product cost and everything. That's not a lot of money, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Like after tax and after everything, if you understand truly how much you're making, it's not crazy. And it's way too early to be chilling.
Well, you're right. I'm just struggling. Could you give me any advice? To be more productive? What can I do to structure my day more? Because everything is just unstructured.
Well, okay, good that we're talking about it right now. That's generally something we need to get into like as soon as possible anyways. So there's a couple of things. Number one, do you structure your calendar the way we teach?
So right now, not really. Right now, I'm only doing like a to-do list. because right now we have my family, they visited us from London, so everything is a bit unstructured, but I try to do the least and make a to-do list.
If something like that happens, you need to make it structured. There's a lot of things outside, like which are outside circumstances, which is, for example, okay, I have like family, friends visiting, or other family coming to visit. Here's what you do. You set specific times where you will spend time with the family, and then you set specific times where you don't spend time with anybody and you're working. And the most important part here is you're not home. If you're home, something will come up. I've been seeing it over and over and over again. If you're there just in the environment where other people are going to be coming into your room, can you help me with this? Can you do this? Can you do this? No. Right now, I have an 8-hour window where I'm doing this. And all the rest of the time I'm spending with you guys. But you need to set specific times. And that's why we do the calendar, where you actually just work. And that's why a to-do list is not enough. Because if you have your to-do list points, you don't know when you're going to do them and something else is going to come up. And you cannot say, no, I have to do this right now. Because you need to treat this calendar like a set appointment. If you have a doctor's appointment at 3 p.m., you're not going to be able to help anybody at all at 3 p.m. because you're at the doctor. You need to treat this exactly the same. It's 3 p.m. I planned to film 2 videos. I have something to do right now. This is the spot where I need to do this. All right. So the times in general needs to be structured. Number 2 is you need to make sure that we look over that all the time. Like you need to be asking us questions which are there for the accountability. So you need to show us your calendar. You should send us a screenshot of your calendar and we tell you if you're doing the right or wrong thing. And the most
group or
Yes, exactly. You send it to us on WhatsApp and we look over that and we tell you, okay, you wasted half of your day here. And things are not going to add up very, very fast. If like we're going to notice if we know how much output you're doing versus how your calendar looks, something is not going to add up if your calendar is going to be full. So we're going to hold you accountable, And that's the main thing. Number 2 is overloading your to-do list. And you need to make one thing clear for yourself where you have your to-do list and you finish it until the day is over. There's no way around it. If you wrote the things down on your to-do list, you need to finish them. This means that you need to be careful what you write down, but also try overloading it and basically work too much. And then basically after a couple of days, you're going to understand how long things take and you're going to be able to make realistic to-do lists. But if you actually truly say, all right, no matter what, I'm finishing my to-do list, you're going to do it. That's it, And if you notice that you're not doing that, there's a couple of tricks you can use, like giving a friend $100 or $500 and telling them, if I don't finish the to-do list in the end of the day, don't give them the $500 back to me. Obviously, that's something if you should do as step 2 after you didn't succeed with the first one. If you cannot be self-accountable, you need other people. But yeah, that's the general thing. Do you have any other questions to that?
What do you recommend? Where could you go to work except of being home? Like any special places?
Well, you need to just think about your content. Obviously, if your content is depending on your place, then I would restructure things completely because I obviously know your product. If I think about it now, it's pretty difficult for you to just go out and film it somewhere else because it's it's in-home product. So what I would do then is I would restructure my day and do all the filming while nobody's awake or something along those lines. But if there's chaos in your apartment and you cannot go out, it doesn't make sense. Or just go to a friend, go to the library, go somewhere where it's possible to film something like that. I don't want to reveal the product, but you need certain things to be able to film the product. And obviously, you need to find a place where those things are there. But besides that, with normal products, I'm just giving general advice. You need to make sure that you're not in an environment which is chaotic. It's step number 1. I don't know if you have a WeWork next to you or something like that, where you can rent a little room for just a couple hours where you film. I don't know what it is, but you need to actually make sure that you're filming. Okay.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you need to understand, you need to have a very specific schedule on what needs to be done. For example, if you say, I have 5 accounts and on each account, I have to post twice a day and it's going to be different content. That's your to-do list. That's what you need to do. Okay. So you need to overload everything in the front end where you basically have a bunch of accounts and a bunch of products and a bunch of general different things, and you have to make it work. So you need to put pressure on yourself. And this is, again, you need to, like, if you cannot do that by yourself and you basically notice that you're slacking, and even if you're trying, it doesn't work, do the money thing. Actually give a person $500 and don't let them give it back to you if you don't. And the most important part here is don't do it the other way. Don't say, all right, if I don't finish the to-do list in the end of the day, I'm going to give you $500. That's not going to work, because you're not ever going to do that ever. You need to first give it while you're motivated, and then you don't get it back later. That's the only way how you can make it work.
Okay.
So would you say that, like, mainly the main challenge you're having right now is account, like, productivity generally?
Account productivity, supplier issue right now. Yeah, I think it's just the productivity, because if I put in more work, I'm going to get further results.
What's distracting you? Like, what are you actually doing? Let's forget about the, like, when family is visiting, like on a normal day.
On a normal day, so I do have a dog. I have to go out with him certain times. Can't avoid that. I try to work, but I don't really do productive work, I don't really do what needs to be done. Like, I do maybe like useless stuff. Or, for example, I watch over and over again how many views my video got. Or I go into the Shopify dashboard and I look at it, and I'm looking at it. Did I make any sales in the last few minutes or something, which is basically nonsense.
Anything else? Are you just like scrolling on Instagram or stuff like that? Or is it not that?
And maybe also sometimes when I'm on TikTok making videos or checking my account, maybe subconsciously I scroll a little bit through the videos. So I think I do have to block. I think there's an app where you can block these apps for a certain time, so you can't use them.
Yeah, the whole blocking apps is like, it doesn't really work. I've tried it. It's the whole thing sucks. It doesn't really help.
Try it yourself.
Yeah. Like I was struggling with the same thing back in the day. I remember, like, when I was like actually addicted to scrolling to on fucking Instagram, it was terrible. And for me, the main solution was just like deleting it for a while. Obviously, you cannot do that with organic, but you have to have your main phone and then a second phone where it's just like a completely other account, which is not optimized to funny things or like interesting things, where you cannot watch your friends. And you basically just have only that account, which is logged in. You don't have a private account in there. You don't have anything. And you basically do it that way. But in the end of the day, you're not going to be able to scroll if you understand how much work you have to do today. If you truly have this big to-do list, you will be stressing yourself. So overload the to-do list and see how long it's going to take to make it. And if you sit there at like 1 a.m., you're going to be like, fuck, tomorrow I'm not going to scroll, So it's just the doing a perfect to-do list and making sure 100% you're finishing up with it is half of the work.
So should I do a calendar or should I do the to-do list?
Both. Okay. So first you do a to-do list and then you schedule when you do what to do.
Okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah. So it's two separate tasks. Like, first, only what do you need to do? And the second question is, when do you need to do it? And then what you do is you estimate how long it's going to take. All right. You estimate, I think filming today is going to take 3 hours. And I'm planning on filming 5 videos, whatever. You put a window of 3 hours. And then 3 hours pass. Let's say you only film 2 videos and you have 3 more left. So now you keep filming until the task is done. You don't stop and go to the next one. You keep filming and you basically drag the 3-hour spot down to 5 hours, how long it actually took. Okay. So you need to make sure that in the end of the day, the calendar is not the planned calendar, but the actual calendar, like what actually happened, how long did things actually take. And then tomorrow you're going to see, all right, yesterday I filmed 5 videos in 5 hours. That's how long it takes. Let's plan today again the same, And if you see, obviously one day is not like a good example, but if you take a full week, it's going to be much, much easier to understand how long it actually takes you to film like the videos for a specific product, or how long the editing takes, or whatever. So yeah, that's basically, that's the main structure.
100%. Yeah, you're right. I will definitely try that out.
Yes. Okay. So let me know how that does. Because if you right now already are making good numbers without being productive, you will literally be able to make triple the money if you put in triple the work. And triple the work right now, if it's like 9 hours a day, is not crazy. 9 hours a day is not crazy at all. And if you're doing 3 hours a day, that's, you know what I mean? It's not tripling exactly what you're making right now is not insane. And on top of that, it's not going to be only tripling it, because it's going to be much more. If you actually do triple the output, you're going to be much, 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 much better very soon. So you're going to get triple the results. But on top of that, your learning curve is going to be cut in like by 3. So everything is going to be better. And yeah.
I'm just wasting too much time and potential. I really have to work on it.
Especially when you start making money. That's the exact moment where you fuck up the most, because your time was never as valuable as right now. Until a month ago, you didn't have a truly valuable skill. You didn't have any skill where you were able to spend a couple of hours a day more and make way more money. There was nothing you had. You have this time right now where you have acquired an actual money-making skill. You cannot just waste that. That's very important. And you burn out, you do all of that. And actually, I'm going to take everything back about the creators. If you're lazy, you should not hire creators at all. First, you burn out, and then we start hiring.
Okay. 100%. I agree.
Do that from like tomorrow. We have evening already, but like from tomorrow morning, make sure to do that. And before you go to sleep today, write down what you need to generally do tomorrow. So ideally, you have your to-do list done, and then tomorrow you plan it. That's the best scenario. And this is what you should do every day. Like some people like it more, some people like it less, but either you put the 3 top things which you need to do tomorrow in the evening, and then you plan everything else the day after. I think in your case, it makes sense to write the entire to-do list in the evening. And then the morning you just plan when.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the main things. And also you cannot be thinking too much in the morning where it's not clear what to do. You need to be like your to-do list is not film 3 videos. Your to-do list is going to be film 3 videos. Video 1 is this. Video 2 is this. Video 3 is this. This is the to-do list. Like you need to actually make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. That's how you do it. And then you have all the ideas ready. And day 2, you start actually just filming. You already know what you're going to film. You just film. Then you
I think this will also solve my problem with too much overthinking, because I got too many ideas in my mind and everything's unstructured. I don't know what to do first and what to do after. So structuring is very, very important.
Yes. And what's going to happen is every single time you do something productive, you're going to have a better idea. You're going to have some other idea or something. And the most important thing is not stop doing what you're doing. Make a little break where you write down the idea into a sheet which is exactly there for that. You have one sheet which is ideas, like one note. Every time something hits, you're like, all right, this goes here, back to the main tasks which I was doing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's
not get distracted.
How did you learn all of that stuff? Like being productive and everything, and like not also in terms of being productive, but also the right mindset, accomplishing and business.
Honestly, it's just time. Like it took me, I'm in it for over 6 years at this point. It's like you're going to get there eventually. And I think the main thing is that it's very easy to chill at anywhere between 10 and 25K net after taxes. When I started making that, it was very, 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 very tempting to stay at that level. But I know, and it happened to me, you cannot stay at that level. You crash. Everything goes to shit if you try to stay at there. So either you make more or you make less. There's no plateau in making money. The plateaus hit if you try your best but nothing goes up and you stay on one level because it's not going up, but you're trying your best. If you start chilling and think it's going to stay, it's not going to stay. Okay, so it's just making the decision that the goal is not only money, which sounds good to most people. If you're being honest, if you get 20K after taxes, after everything in your pocket, after like that's what you pay yourself, you don't really need more. You actually don't really need more. But the question is, like, what are you going to do now? Are you going to just stop? And for me, I just saw it the way that exactly what I told you. I have a money-making skill and I cannot waste it. I know that my entire family, it doesn't have that skill. None of them. That means that I am the only person who can make money for everybody. And if I don't, they're not going to do that. So for me, I understood At 20K, I'm limited to what I want. There's a bunch of people left which are not set yet. That was the main thing. And then you start to understand what's important and you just become productive. You actually grow into being productive because you just know what you're doing. The only thing between you and being productive is structure. If you are super structured, you will be productive. Because think about it. If you go to the gym or like if you go do some specific thing, you just know what to do and that's why you do it. Nobody ever is going to be like, yeah, I'm super unproductive in the gym and it took me 3.5 hours instead of 1.5 hours. Because you know, this is then first exercise, then second, then third, and that. There's no unproductivity there. So here it's the same. If you know exactly what you need to do and it's strictly planned out, you won't be unproductive. It's the same thing as you have a flight tomorrow at 6 a.m. You're not going to be late. Why do you sleep in when you work? You need to treat your work like a flight. It's as important. But most people are going to miss every other appointment they personally set for themselves, but not a flight. How come? You understand? It doesn't make sense. Because you think that's the priority. But in reality, if you think a little bit bigger, it's way more important to think about the plans you had, not where it depends on other people or external bullshit, like a flight.
Because the first time I saw you talking about productivity was like in a case study with Mikey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically told him to do the Google Calendar and he made that. That's the thing I always had in my mind. I want to do that, but I never did it. That's the issue. You just have to. I did it for one day. I don't know when exactly. I did it sometime, and then it worked pretty well. But then I lost focus again, and I didn't stay disciplined in terms of structuring your day. I think when you got it one time, just over 1 week, where you do it every single day, you will see the benefits and stick to it.
You're not going to stop after that. Yes. Exactly. And that one day, were you productive?
That one day, yeah, I was very productive. I think it was on that day I made like a whole website. I finished completing a whole website and also made like 4 or 5 videos.
So there you go. This is something where you need to catch on to yourself being better or worse. And sometimes you need to let's think of a store. Let's say you have a store, it's running well. One day you decide to change the first picture and the next day the entire conversion rate drops. And then you basically change it back and everything is fine again. Your conclusion is, all right, that new picture was bad. Or you change it and it was super good. And then your conclusion is, it's good, let me leave it. This is what you need to do in life. You had a good day. Ask yourself, what did I change today? Like, what was it today? Did I sleep longer? Was it that I whatever? Just think about what you actually did different. Was it more structured? Whatever. And start making a list of things which worked really well and try to make that work. Because if it's there's so much external bullshit which is going on always, which you need to track. You need to understand. All right, whenever you need to link. Whenever my family is here, I am unproductive. What should I do? Very clear. There's a very clear correlation. You change the profile, you change the picture, conversion rate goes down. Your family is here, you're unproductive. It's very, very obvious, but you don't notice because you don't think about it like that.
And another thing which is pretty interesting, you mentioned it a lot of times in your videos, like to find priorities, right?
Yes.
Like money-making activities. Because in the beginning, I used to focus a lot on the gym. I went like every single day, I went like 2 or 3 hours to the gym. Yeah. And you said that, I realized it's wasted so much of my time where I could actually make money. Don't get me wrong, it's important to focus on your health and all this stuff. You should go like 2 or 3 times to the gym a week if it's possible, but every single day is too much if you have other shit to do.
I agree with this statement because that's my statement, but I also completely disagree when you say that because you're working for 3 hours a day. You have plenty of time for the gym. What are you talking about?
That's right.
You shouldn't sacrifice the gym for chilling at home and scrolling, so it's very important. That's also generally what I'm talking about when you can replace not the best thing to a worse thing. The gym is not the best thing to make money, but scrolling is even worse to make money. It's not you know what I mean? It's better to go to the gym than to chill. So it's very important to be honest to yourself. And if you do your calendar, just track if you would keep doing exactly your pace, how much you're working versus how much free time you have. You don't have anything to do. This is this is the priority. You're making a full-time income from this. This means this is the priority. If you have a full-time job, by the way, which is if the full-time job is organic, and let's say you're working at like a normal job, 8 hours a day, you have plenty of time to go to the gym. I'm just saying all of those things because people are making excuses for not having time. But in reality, you have a full-time job. The most normal thing ever is just going to the gym after your job. That's not difficult. That's nothing. You just need to think and actually plan out your time, because you need to keep in mind that everything is a trade-off. And whenever you're sitting with your family, you're also not in the gym and you're not working. And if you're in the gym, you're not sitting with your family. I would never say one thing is more important than the other. I'm just saying get your priorities straight, and then you know what's more important. That's it. Obviously, family is more important than everything else. But is spending time with your family more important than long run where you make a shit ton of money and you can retire everybody? I don't know. That's something you need to weigh up. So it's really important to understand like just the perspectives of everything. And yeah,
I meant like not only for myself, but I meant if you're really at the top level, if you're structuring your day perfectly and are very productive, you just have to have priorities, because if your time is so valuable that you make like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of euros, you can't waste your time by making food or cleaning or whatever. You know what I mean?
No, I know what I mean. That's my marketing, bro. I definitely know what I mean. Yes, like that. Yes, 100%. You shouldn't do all of those things. But you also need to keep in mind that it only applies to you when you're productive. It only applies to you when you are productive. It does not apply. You should cook instead of chilling on TikTok. I would prefer cooking than that. So that's just this. Yeah. Any other thoughts on this?
I think you made your points very clear. You're basically roasting me, man. But I think I do that sometimes. That's good. That's what I like about you. Sometimes you just roast the people and you tell them what's going wrong directly and what they have to do, right? That's very important.
Yeah, the whole thing is just that you might feel bad for an hour, but you're not going to feel bad for the next year, and that trade-off is better. In the end of the day, the whole accountability thing is huge. And you guys, like everybody watching right now, truly make sure that you plan your time. If you get one thing out of this video, just plan your day properly. And I know for a fact, a lot of people are going to do it tomorrow. But I also know for a fact, if I ask them in 3 weeks, 99% of them are not going to do it. And this is not something you do for a day. This is going to be something which you do until you retire. Like, there's nothing more important than planning your day. Even if it would take you 3 hours per day to make a perfect plan, I would say that's a better trade-off than working the whole day without a plan, even if you have 3 hours less. So that's just that. For everybody watching right now, if you're interested in also joining this program, getting roasted as well, and making sure that you actually are going in the right direction, and also learning all the things about going viral, converting, and stuff like that, click the link below, sign up for a free call, and we're going to find out if you're a good fit.